punishment definite, and good deeds don't wash away the evidence. That's like trying to kill plaque with a peppermint. We are forgiven through the blood of Jesus. To praise his name, I can't find no better reason. His name ring bells like it's trick-or-treating. Demons hear it and they shiver like it's winter season. I've been redeemed and I ain't going back. The road of sins are dead end, no cul-de-sac. Satan, you can't hold me back. Conqueror, I'm more than that. In the army of the Lord, screaming where my soldiers at. Started from a sinner, now I'm saved. Jesus gave his life and he rose from the grave. I started from a sinner, now I'm saved. Jesus gave his life and he rose from the grave. I started from a sinner, now I'm saved. Jesus gave his life and he rose from the grave. I started from a sinner, now I'm saved. Jesus gave his life and he rose from the grave. Worthy is the lamb who was slain. They laid him in the tomb, but he rose in 3 days. Worthy is the lamb who was slain. They laid him in the tomb, but he rose in 3 days. Worthy is the lamb who was slain. They laid him in the tomb, but he rose in 3 days. Worthy is the lamb who was slain. They laid him in the tomb, but he rose in 3 days. So I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed.
All right. We're back in the studio, and we were talking about the situations that my daughter has went through. Now, if you just want to name off a few of them, but before I do that, I want to say that the difference, real quick, the difference between HIV or AIDS and lupus is not the same. Yeah, lupus is not like or related to HIV, human immune deficiency, or AIDS, the acquired immune deficiency. In HIV and AIDS, the immune system is underactive, so it's not active enough. In lupus, the immune system is overactive, and lupus is not contagious. Lupus cannot be transferred from one person to another by touching the skin, even touching the lesions, or any physical contact. The specific cause of lupus is not known, but many genetic predispositions, HLA types, regular genes, and gene environment interactions with UV exposure, the immune system response to microbes or other drugs have been identified with the predisposed individual to develop these autoimmune systems. So that's what it's not. So if you see someone with lesions, they're not contagious.
You can touch me.
Even if you...
you can serve me Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. It's okay. Even after a run and it's sweaty and I'm all flared up, you can still touch me.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with touching her skin. If you wanted to touch it with your fingers, you haven't contaminated yourself or anything like that, because it's not HIV. So tell us about a couple of things that people have said to you, comments that people have made that they thought they were. So you had one situation when you were telling me about you were in a donut shop or something.
Yeah, I was
it really bothered you.
Dunkin' Donuts, and I will name it. And I just moved to Virginia Beach, and I decided to go for a run on a humid day, rollerblade. I rollerblade. And it was hot. And with lupus, you can't use just regular sunblock. It has to be the surfer type sunblock with the really thick sunblock where you see it. And being of darker complexion, it's white. So after working out, I didn't realize I had the sweat on me. Went to Dunkin' Donuts to get me an ice drink, and the clerk refused to serve me and touch me. She said, "I'm not touching you because you have lesions on your face. What do you have? AIDS." And I was so shocked, I didn't even realize at the moment what was going on. I just said, "I don't have AIDS. These are not lesions. I have lupus. It's a butterfly rash." The people in Dunkin' Donuts were more offended than I was. They took it. I was more so, calming them down in the situation than me, because everyone in Dunkin' Donuts was offended. And I was just very thankful that that people that didn't know me, and I was a sweaty mess, and I didn't know, and lupus was new to me. I didn't know after I go rollerblading in humidity in Virginia Beach in August that my sunblock was going to be melted and all white everywhere. I still was fairly learning about lupus and how to protect myself, and I just had a lot of sweat, and I guess it looked way worse than it should have. And all I did was want something to drink. I left after that, and I've never been back to that Dunkin' Donuts since then. That's pretty much like, that was really one of the worst stories, that not being served. And that's happened a lot. I have people take my money and don't want to touch my hand. I've had people in the drive-thru thinking that their ear things are on, and I'll go to pay the cash, and it'll be like a young person, and then I obviously know they told the people, come look at this girl's face, because when I go to the thing to go pick up my food, it's like 5 people there staring at my face, and I just have to ignore it sometimes. And I've had people who, and I know they don't mean anything by this, and I get this a lot. I get women who meet me who would say, oh my gosh, if I had that on my face, I would just die. You're so strong. And I'm thinking like, damn, you'll kill yourself? Like, do I look that bad that you'll, and I know they don't mean it offensively. And that's where I had to get strong at, because before, I wouldn't leave the house for years. So I just had to get strong to think and ignore. I see people staring at me, and I literally ignore them and keep it going with my day, or I'll just be angry black woman if I just paid attention to all the attention and negativity I get. And I realize that people are trying to be sincere. They just don't know the right words when they say, oh, it doesn't look it belongs in your face. Or even when I go to the doctors and the nurses will ask me, because, I mean, there's a study going on at Camp Pendleton Hospital about my case, because my discoid is so severe at an early age, and they just never seen anything so severe the way mine is. And I'll have nurses say, well, at least you're married. Your husband loves you for you. And it's like, you know, some people, they don't realize that people just make you feel really ugly and like really messed up, and they don't realize that you have to be the one to lift yourself up. There's sometimes when I'm in the store and I'm with kids, and there was one time when this little girl was telling her parents in Walmart, she's a monster. They were running from the monster, and I realized that I was the monster. I put my stuff down, and I went in the car and I cried. And I think that was like the first time where I was like, I'm not going to let nothing get to me. And I waited, and then I said, bump that. I'm getting my stuff from Walmart. And I went back in there, and it probably wasn't the best thing, but when they were walking out, I screamed at the girl, and I said, rawr, and I scared her, and she jumped. And that actually brought the most joy in my day at Walmart. So, like, that was just like a really crazy situation, but I experience that all the time. And it's funny because when I'll have makeup on and people be like, oh, you're so pretty, whatever, I'm so quick to point out that I have lupus, or I'll be so subconscious about when I do have the makeup on. So
in the makeup process, what do you have to tell them about the type of makeup that you have to put on to actually cover those?
It's really hard. I use Dermablend. I use 3 different shades of Dermablend. I use matte concealer. I use bare mineral. It's literally a process, and I've had lupus for 8 years now. It took me a long time to learn. I was looking crazy. And what's funny is every time I go to the mall, I get people who want to take me in and do makeup before and after, put them on their Instagram or social media. For one, I'm not involved in no social media. 2, I just think I would be more willing to help these people out if it was like, if they weren't trying to build followers, or like, I just feel like it wasn't sincere. It's like as soon as I walk in, they're like, oh, you, and I know what it is. I know it's because of my face. So it's just a very tough situation to just figure out. Like when I see the commercials and I see they say, oh, this foundation covers up all flaws. And I'm like, yeah, right. Put me on there. If it could cover up my flaws, then you have full coverage. And I just feel like we need to use more real people and more real things that are going on. So now I don't wear my makeup unless I go out at night, and that's still thing. And I'm coming to that point where I'm confident, getting more confident. But I have my days where I break down. It is hard because I have to lift myself up because people don't realize what they say is me. You see someone who's handicapped, you don't say, hey, last week you had a leg. What happened to your leg? You don't do that. But if I haven't seen someone in a long time, they'll say, oh my gosh, what the happened to your face? And it's a tough situation. I think we all need to be sensitive to people's needs and to when we see people, and we need to correct our kids when we see them looking or staring at someone who's different.
Yeah.
Different. Because you don't know what your future's going to hold. I didn't know I was going to have this 10 years ago.
No.
So I think we all need to be mindful of what we say and how we judge people.
Yeah. And it is an adjustment that you do have to, it's something that you have to get used to. It's something that I had to get used to. And I think I was the most stubborn person about the whole thing, me and her father. We just believed she was just being another drama queen. So sometimes drama queens really have some issues. That's what I learned. Now, we only have a few more minutes to go, and, I want to thank my daughter for her bravery, for, going ahead and letting me put those pictures out there and, talking so open and candidly about this disease that is affecting her looks. And if you see the pictures that I put out there, she is a beautiful young lady. I make a mistake sometimes and say was. It should say. So what are you trying to say, Mom? And it's not like I'm.
And I'm not a drama queen now. Okay, I'm almost 40, so they're not going to believe you.
No, you're not that close to 40. You still got 10 years to go. 8 years. That's not pushing 40. So, yeah, but yeah, it's something that you definitely have to get used to. Now, some people talk about marijuana. Marijuana and lupus is
I got my medical card in California when I got diagnosed with lupus.
Yeah, and we don't have much time to talk about this, but it says marijuana and lupus. There is some research showing that it may be a valuable option for people not only with this particular condition, but other autoimmune disorders. The cannabis is shown to decrease the inflammation in the body and cause it to suppress component of the immune system, because how the cannabis can potentially affect the immune system, it can help calm the abnormal immune response that is the characteristic of lupus. It specifically lowers levels of something called the interleukin, and it's getting ready to get complicated, so I'm going to go ahead past that
Please
situation. But there's a certain type. It's saying that CBT, the non-psychoactive marijuana, is the best.
Like regular weed, that's just what you need. Regular weed, no purple haze, no extra. Just regular 70s weed.
If you could find that anymore.
Regular grass.
Bring that stuff with rage. This stuff is called death. Really?
Let me try it.
Yeah, I really want to smoke that. But I do thank her for coming out, and I hope that we were able to make some things aware of you, of someone with lupus, someone with lesions that you may see down the walking down the street. It's okay to ask them as long as you're not in a state of shock.
And on the aisle on the other side of a grocery store, or just don't yell it while you're running my groceries and say, hey, what happened to your face?
Yeah.
And then want to bring it up in Google while you're bringing up my groceries.
Yeah.
That's not appropriate.
Yeah. So you definitely want to be aware of that.
Teach your kids.
And I do appreciate her coming on here tonight. And she is my oldest. And and we are pretty close in age because I was pretty much a young girl when I had